Hi, I'm back again. I'm going to purge one more thing today, and then I'm going to give myself a little time out. So, one of the things that's really been up in my world too is just allowance. You look around the world right now and, oh my God, it's like all of this polarity going on, like either you're for or you're against, that there's just no space there in between for you to just choose because you want to choose it. And it doesn't matter whether we're talking about race, whether we're talking about politics, whether we're talking about whether you take the vaccine or not take the vaccine. It doesn't matter about whether you want to be fat or skinny. It doesn't matter if you want to be athletic or not. It doesn't friggin' matter. People just want to fight about absolutely anything. They want to have an opposing view of everything. Why? What is the value of that? What if you could just be an allowance? Oh my God, what does that word mean? No, you either have to be for or you have to be against. You can't just be on the fence in the middle, be an allowance. But everybody's different. Everybody comes from a different space, a different background, a different set of experiences in their life. Everybody's body is so different. And so let's talk about vaccines. That's big right now. Everybody expects you to get the vaccine. You have to get the vaccine. Hell, you may not even be able to travel around the world if you don't have the vaccine or proof that you have had the vaccine. But I am all about being careful with the viruses. I acknowledge that it's a real thing. People are getting sick, people are dying. I also acknowledge that not everybody has reported the facts accurately. But even with that worked in, there's a lot of people that have gotten sick and a lot of people that have died. And it's not in just one place, it's all over the whole world. I acknowledge that. And I acknowledge that the vaccines were pushed, that like it was accelerated to get them all out. Were they working on some of them for a long time? Yeah, I hear that some they've worked on for 10 years. They've been studying vaccines for COVID. It's not a new disease, really. It's just new to us. And so all that's fine and good. I think it's a choice. You can choose it or not. But you don't choose it because you're a Republican. You don't choose it because you're a Democrat. You don't choose it because you live here or you live there, because you're a rancher, because you're blue collar, because you're black, because you're white, because you're Mexican, whatever it is. Those are not reasons to choose it or not choose it. Check in with your body, people. The vaccine should be a choice based on what you know is what your body requires. I, for one, really suck with medication. Can't do it. It is not my thing. I have nearly died on the operating table because of medication. You know what? I stay away from it. I have not had a good record. I have not had good experiences. And my body does not want it. It does not require it. So why can't people just friggin' allow me to choose that with no judgment? Why can't I be allowed to question whether that vaccine is going to be a contribution or not? I don't care if you take it. I don't care if it makes you feel better. Please choose it. Knock yourself out. I don't care. because it's a personal choice. And if it makes you feel good, you should do that. But please, if you're going to choose because you are aware of what your body requires, not because somebody else said you have to do it. It doesn't matter if it is about the vaccine or anything else in the world. Please, people, stop being like all the sheep following the first one over the edge of the cliff. Or what is it? The lemmings, I think it is. The little lemmings that one will go over and everybody else goes over to. It's like, okay, mass suicide, interesting choice. But all I'm saying is that it is okay to be an allowance of other people choosing different than you, looking different than you. You know, not everybody is built the same. Not everybody is going to walk the same path. You know, you can look at children. There's children in the schools that can sit down and just love everything that they're doing and stay very focused, and they're right on schedule, always. They are so good at that. Then there's those other kids that are ADD, ADHD, autistic, whatever. And their little minds are all over the freaking place. They are so busy. I was a teacher for 30 years. I have seen these children. And you know what I realized? Those children that were like all over the freaking place, those kids are like brilliant. Those kids don't walk to the beat of the same drum as everyone else. But believe me, when they got out there into the world and did what it was that they enjoyed, what lit them up, they were brilliant and they were successful beyond anybody's wildest imagination. But those that did not allow themselves to be that different, a lot of them committed suicide. A lot of them are the most unhappy people. Hell, they probably turned into murderers. You know, it's like if you allow people to just choose what makes them happy, what lights them up, to be the difference that they be. And you don't look at them for what their color is or their choice of politics or where they live or what they do or whatever. If you can like just let all of that go and enjoy the fact that they are so happy, that they are doing exactly what lights them up, and let them go, you will see a creation of something so beyond your wildest imagination that it will just completely change your world and the way that you view the world. You know, when I work on people energetically, they come with all of their piles of poo, like all of the judgments that they have of themselves and that everybody else has of themselves, and all the crap and projections and expectations and definitions that have been piled and piled and piled and piled upon them. And you can't even find them under all of that. But what you do when you are being in true allowance of someone is that you look for that light. And the way I get there is I look for the light of them as a child. I get the energy that they were as a child, as a toddler, as a baby, and beyond that. And when I go back and back and back with them and perceive who they were before all of this was piled on top of them, then I can be in complete allowance of them being whoever they are, because I know that that's who they truly be. And I know that when they let go of all this other stuff, that they can create their life in a completely different way. And so I'm asking you today, instead of judging somebody because they're different, instead of judging somebody and excluding them because they don't choose things exactly as you do, What if today you tried to see the light of who they truly be underneath all the piles of poo, and tried to get who they really are beneath all of that, and what is actually possible for them to choose differently, and what the value of that might be. It's just a choice. It's just a choice to be out of judgment. It's just a choice to allow people to be different. How refreshing that they would break the mold and bring something into the world that might create the difference that the world has been asking for, that you've been asking for. So that's all that I really wanted to say today about allowance and just being an allowance. You know, feeling the difference between being in judgment. I am a judge. I am judging. And I am controlling. You know, when you say those words and you feel the energy in your body, it's like somebody's like stepping on you. It's like blah, or like you're getting this little twist inside. And then when you say, I am allowance. And it's like, for me, I am allowance. It just melts everything. And it's just like this beautiful space opens up. And I don't have to be busying myself over there, making sure they're doing and following the rules and whatever that I concluded that they have to be. Instead, I've let all of that go. And I've given them the responsibility of that. How different would that be? Giving people the responsibility of taking care of themselves instead of you taking care of themselves, taking care of them. You trying to control and manipulate them. What if you could give that up? How much more space and joy and ease could your life be if you were not so busy trying to control somebody else's life and make them look like you? And how much fun would it be to see what they would create? Just a choice. You know, Gary Douglas and Dane here and Access Consciousness have shown me so many times the allowance that you can be. Doesn't mean you allow people to walk on you. It means that you allow them to choose whatever they're going to choose. No matter how disastrous it may appear to you, maybe that's where they have to go. But when you can be an allowance of you being the difference, when you can be an allowance of them choosing their thing, all of a sudden, man, it's just like this space opens up. It's such an amazing tool to use the POC and POD, point of creation, point of destruction, another one of those access tools to just destroy, to uncreate and destroy, and to release all of your judgments of everything. POC and POD, POC and POD, POC and POD. That's all you have to say. POC and POD, POC and POD, POC and POD. And when you start releasing all of those judgments, the allowance just shows up. And then what's possible? Amazing things. Just keep asking, what's possible now? So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you find me again. Bye.